All right. The YouTube live stream should be up now. I'm going to go share the link on Discord so when people get in here, they can use it.
Okay. Well, it seems to be working.
Yep, that's good. All right, I also have it pulled up on my phone. Hello. So you remember we chose this room because we thought there'd be a TV, right? They got rid of it from all these rooms.
You can see the remains of it over there.
Mm-hmm. They actually ripped off the cable. Owen pointed that out.
Well, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
This
so
room was supposed to seat more.
I guess we can grab chairs from out there. I mean, we'll see how many people show up. But yeah, so my plan as it stands is when necessary I can flip around the laptop like between things, but also I have the live stream going so people can just pull it up on their phones and whatnot and just follow along using that.
Yeah. You sent the finished project in the group chat, didn't you?
Yeah, just in case.
Because I can also just pull that up and help anybody out and use it too.
Oh yeah, true. It's a relatively simple one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious how many people we'll get since it's a weird room and I don't know. It was also pretty busy on campus, at least from the looks of it to me.
Yeah, the party was full. They've got something going on.
Mm-hmm. Like I know there's something going on at Brooks itself, but
Probably a show.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
mm-hmm. But I thought they usually like start towing when that happens, but I didn't see anything saying that this time. I didn't take a chance, but
One part there.
oh.
I didn't see a sign though. I saw it was full. I looked. There was no sign.
Mm-hmm.
So
You park in front of a Brooks logo spot.
Huh?
You park in a Brooks logo spot.
I parked in like the orange spot.
Was there a logo in front of it?
Oh, wait,
Then you should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm all the way in the back, so.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no worries.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got someone. Hi.
Hello. So, I don't know if you saw the announcement I just posted, but yeah, I had purposely booked this room because at least there was still a TV in this one. But as you can see, it's no longer there.
All right, I'll pull it up on my computer.
Yeah, and I'm always happy to go around the room and make sure people are able to catch up, or even just turn around the laptop as well when necessary. At the very least, this tutorial won't have like too much code, at least the way it is now. If we really get a lot done, I'll expand on it, like from what I had in my notes. Oh, actually, speaking of which, I should grab this. There. Oh, and did you already get like Godot or the sprite sheet?
I think it does.
Gotcha. And the sprite sheet is in my like one of the previous announcements. I think from Friday. I want to say or Monday, one of the days. I want to say Monday.
It'd be the one with all the plans.
Yeah, that one. And if you want to use that for anything else, you can also feel free to. I guess also if people have any more game jam ideas, we'll also have a single whiteboard here for that. And I think this marker works. Well, it works enough.
Working by the standards of the library.
We need to go ahead and make actually a GitHub for our game jam when we get the chance.
Yeah.
Like we can use the template to start from, but I will say I want to modify it a little bit since the way I have it now is just to keep it a bit simplified, and it's sort of modular, but at least some parts can be made a bit better for like modularity. All right, so it's 3 people, so it's us 2, and is one of you on the live stream? Well, I guess
No.
not you.
I don't think I am. Maybe someone's watching at home.
Yeah. Well, we still have 7 more minutes. Yeah, I want to start getting something together to at least go along with the music Owen's already done.
Well, one of them just requires a title screen.
I could. Well, no, I was gonna say I could do like my little fade in sort of like cutscene like I did before, but I don't know if this game really needs that versus that intro mission we were already talking about that I think does the job already.
Yeah, that's all the story you really need for a shoot 'em up.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Hello.
In fact, do not have a laptop because I've not been home yet.
Oh, it's all good. I don't know if you saw the announcement. I had picked this room because I thought there'd be a TV. As you can see behind you, it has been ripped off. So,
There was one.
yeah, I even used this room last semester. It was there, so definitely happened between semesters. But anyway, the live stream is on YouTube, so if you want to see it anytime, you can go on there. But of course, I have it right here as well, so I can always flip it around or
Yeah.
In your
We
case,
might just have to do that. So
Yeah.
we'll just pull up the live stream, but my phone is also at 5%. So
oh wait, what type of
Lightning, old Apple.
okay.
Yeah.
Probably look on someone's laptop.
And are you planning to follow along the tutorial, or are you just chilling? Gotcha. So like I was mentioning before, and I don't know if you saw the announcement, I have to use YouTube to stream it on this time. For if you want to follow along, like I'll of course like flip this around or like come to you to help and all that. But the TV that I thought was here is ripped off. So I don't know if there'd be any issues with us just taking chairs from out there if we get too many people.
I don't think there will
Probably
be.
not.
So at least there's like no one here anyways.
Yeah, it's like 7. If they're reading the other shed, there's a whole 2 other sides of the library they could shot. So.
Mm-hmm. Or we could do like what I mentioned before, and unfortunately the leadership have to be the first ones to give up our chairs.
I think we're better off just taking the chairs from right there. Oh, we might run out of table space. Let's see.
I mean, I will say, I feel like it's a bit easier to squeeze onto a table.
Hey.
Hello.
Like the gang club.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One more chair over here.
But, yeah, like, yeah.
So do you plan to follow on the tutorial?
I'm out like the tutorial. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. If you want to try and follow along, I have it going on YouTube to watch, like as you're like for referencing stuff.
Okay, like this is my first time here.
Oh yeah, no, it's no problem. This is like a beginner one, so I'll help you if you get stuck somewhere. I can come over and help give you any advice or like show you like what you need to do.
All right, good, thanks.
Mhm. In fact, actually, for the two of you who like just came in, do you guys have Godot in the spreadsheet already? You have it?
I have to go. I can go to the spreadsheet off Discord.
Yeah, you can just grab it real quick if you want to, or I mean, you can wait until I start since I have to do a quick little presentation first. But you have the time. And then, do you have Godot over there?
Yeah, like yeah, I have it. I'm not. Yeah, give me a second.
What version is this? 4.5.
I'm using 4.5, but I don't think it really makes any difference with the stuff I'm using.
Well, I just took it off the group chat, so I think that matters.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So we should be all good, at least with the people present. And we still have 2 more minutes. Oh, you were meaning the thing you grabbed on there. Yeah.
Yeah, just start your version.
Hello.
Hey. You might have to grab a chair from outside if you want to sit down.
I think we do still have 2 more.
Those broken ones, though.
I thought at least the left one was not broken, is it?
No,
this
it's pretty
one
broken to
looks-
me.
It is.
You know, we can
I can stand somebody.
or we can just exchange it. They don't need to know the broken chair came from in here.
That's
Hopefully this is the last time we have to deal with these sorts of issues, because like pretty much every other meeting this semester is in that room from our first meeting. It was just, I don't know what it was with today. Everything was booked. Like what? Most of the rooms here, even like some of the other buildings I was trying as well.
Well, I noticed today was big on clubs and facts, so I was having no stuff today. So.
Gotcha. So I was curious, like I saw much more people than I thought when I came here around 6. Usually C11 is at least a little bit easier to find a spot in.
There's so many clubs in the library right now. So,
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close the door. And do you have Godot in the spreadsheet?
I'm more so here just to kind of observe, I suppose.
Well, in that case, you can open the live stream whenever you're ready, and I'll go ahead and get started. So, if you're watching on there, I have a little tiny presentation. But welcome to our 2D shoot 'em up tutorial. This will be the first in our two-part series on it. So, this one will just be like a quick one, hopefully, just to get like the basic movement going for a player. So, if you've been to our previous tutorials, usually when we do a player, we do like WASD controls, your normal sort of thing. But because it's a shoot 'em up, I thought it'd be a little bit more interesting to use one that instead follows the mouse, as that also gets you to learn a little bit more about like what sorts of inputs you need for that sort of movement. And then I'll also be showing you like scrolling background elements to like give a sense of speed. And then you'll also start making some bullets for your character to shoot. They'll despawn when exiting the screen. So that'll just teach you some other basic stuff along the way, like how to get like your window size and how you can manipulate that to control some basic elements. And then if we do get some time this meeting, or definitely next time, we'll go into how to make some basic asteroid enemies that you can shoot at and destroy, and that can also deal damage to you, as well as some enemy spaceships that will be shooting at you instead. And then some simple UI, which will need to at least allow you to keep your mouse rotated to the screen and be able to still exit the game. So with that said, I'll go ahead and quickly show you like what we're going to be trying to make, and then I'll get started. So if you're on the live stream, you should be able to see it on there. Or in fact, actually, I can flip this around now. Is that at all possible to see?
How do I get onto the live stream?
If you go to our Discord in the announcements, it should be in the last one. Or you can just search up Clemson Game Dev on YouTube.
Alright, I get them. I'm on the Discord. Hold on.
Gotcha.
Announcements.
But
Okay, I see.
all right. So as you can see on here, it's just that basic little spaceship you got. You can shoot bullets just by like holding your left mouse button or just clicking. And there's all these stars that are randomly generating in the background to just keep scrolling. So that's what we'll be doing. But to get started, I'll go ahead and close that guy out, and I'll get back to the source screen you should be on. So you'll first open up Godot. And I'm doing this in 4.5, but if you're in like 4.4 or something, that's totally fine. I don't think there's much difference between like the 4 versions and what I'll be doing. So when you're on your like first screen for Godot, you're given the options like create, import, scan, and well, I guess that's really the only options you'll have for now. So we'll go ahead and go to create to make a new project. And I'm just going to call it shoot 'em up. I'll just say demo, or you can call it whatever you want. I'm just calling it that for myself. And you'll see a few other options here. You can change the project path. So if you're doing this for like a GitHub thing, for example, and you already had that set up, you might want to go ahead and put it into there. Or alternatively, you also can take a look at your renderer down here. So you'll see forward plus. That's your standard one if you're making like PC games, because they can handle relatively good graphics. Then you have mobile, which sort of as it implies, it kind of downgrades the graphics to make it so a mobile device can actually handle it. And then you have compatibility. And that's more or less for like a mix of things, particularly like for devices that can't handle modern rendering. So if you're making for like older devices, you might use compatibility, but otherwise that's not really going to be something you need. I'll go ahead with forward plus. And with that selected and with my title put in, I'm just going to go ahead and do create. And now I'll go ahead and open up a new Godot project. All right, this will take like a second for me to load. It probably might load for you guys a little bit faster. All right, so once you're in there, you sort of have an empty scene here, and you're given a few options to your left to create a root node. That's like your initial node for a scene to start from that you'll keep adding on stuff to. So you kind of just want to be exciting like generic for this first scene, because this will be like your main thing you're putting everything else into. And before I go ahead and do that, I'll explain what these 3 different types of nodes or scenes are for. Your 2D scene, as it explains, is for like any sort of like 2D game usually. You can also use it for UI stuff, but it's best used for like anything that's more for like a 2D game rather than UI. Your 3D scene, that allows you to actually have like your X, Y, and Z stuff. Your 2D one only has your X and Y if you're messing around with position and stuff on there. So 3D will definitely be necessary in those cases where you want your Z. And then user interface is not necessary if you want to do UI stuff, but it's pretty much like heavily recommend, especially because it lets you start using anchors for like where you want your stuff on the screen. Just makes it a lot easier to keep stuff where you want them in your UI, like scaling wise. Now, because we're just doing a basic 2D game and not handling UI first, we're just go ahead and click on 2D scene as our root node. And I'm just going to go ahead and rename that main game. You can rename it just by double clicking it, or you can also right click on it, and it gives you a few more options, including rename. But that'll just be your first node. And to explain a little bit about the editor real quick, in the middle is like sort of like all the stuff you can like plop down. That'll be like your scene itself. So as we start adding stuff, that's where you'll see like your actual like visual elements in there. And then if you look to your right, you have your inspector. So that's where, for instance, if you want everything that's attached to this main game node to have like a certain like position based on it, then you can change that position here in transform. Maybe you can also change the rotation, scale, or anything else. So that's what you often will use these nodes for, just for like as like a parent node for everything else. So it all has their own like common position from it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add a child node to this main game node. So you right click on that one and you get the option add child node. And before I go ahead, is anyone stuck or needs like a moment to catch up?
No, I don't think so, no.
All right. So once you're doing add child node, it gives you this screen where you can choose which node you want to do. So in our case, we're going to first add a camera to our scene. So you can just start typing camera, and then you'll see camera 2D. So that already gets selected as I start typing it. So with it down here, so I know it's what I have selected, I'm just going to do create. And now I have that as one of my nodes attached to the main game. And the only thing I'm really going to do with this guy, since we're going to have a fixed camera for this game, since instead our player's the one moving around. Hello. Do you plan to follow along?
Sure. Here's no, I started.
Yeah, no, I only just started.
Yeah, we just added the first one.
Yeah.
You can also grab a chair from outside if you like. That one's kind of broken. But, yeah, I can actually use this while I go grab one.
Yeah, at least there also might be space between Owen and I don't recall your name.
I'm Joseph.
Gotcha, Joseph. So there's some space between Owen and Joseph. All right, and I'm using the live stream to like show everything right now, since as you can see, the TV I thought was here is gone.
Yeah.
But really, all we've done is we've added a 2D node to a scene and then added a camera 2D onto it. So I'll give you a second. And I assume we haven't got anything in Discord. I'll double check real quick.
Yeah.
All right. I guess while that's happening, I can explain a bit more stuff here. So with our camera over here, in the inspector, all those options have changed. So instead of just being like the transform position and all that, you can change like the offset for your camera. Or an interesting option is if you go down to position smoothing. So let's say you're making like a platforming game and you want to be like your camera isn't like snapping to the player. You can just turn on position smoothing and then it'll interpolate to their position. So that's something you'll use a lot of the time when your camera's attached to the player, because otherwise the movement feels like a little bit awkward. And similar sort of thing for rotation smoothing. So in fact, if I turn it on here, if you take a look, you can just adjust the speed. So that just helps with the interpolation there. That's really the big thing I mess around with if I go to the camera. Otherwise, I'm just doing stuff via code.
You said a camera component?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, you all set? All right. So with our camera here, the only change we're really going to make for now is we're going to go over it to zoom, and you'll see the X and Y are linked to each other. So I'm just going to change one of them to 2. That's mainly because with the sprite sheet I have, it works a little bit better if it's zoomed in like twice. Otherwise, our spatial is going to be a little bit small. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and save this for now. So I'm just going to call this main game. There we go. So this will be the scene we'll add all of our other stuff to. And with that, we're going to go ahead and start working on our player. So to add a new scene, you'll go up towards the top next to like where you have your main game scene. You'll see add a new scene with that plus. You'll just click on that. And now you're in like the same sort of thing you saw before. But instead of choosing one of the root node options it gives you off the bat, you're going to go to other node, where that gives you the same stuff we had when we were doing a child node. And instead of going for a camera, we're going to start typing character for character body 2D. And it should select it for you, and then you just do create. So character bodies are usually an easier way to like set up your players or any NPCs and the like, since it's like a form of node you can have like colliders to and stuff that can also move around and interact with other things. So if you do want to like interact with rigid bodies, that will require an extra bit of like coding. But with that, we're going to go ahead and start setting up some other nodes for our character. So first, I'm going to go to add child node again. And I'm going to add a animated sprite. So animated sprite 2D. That should again show up when you start typing animated. And then I'll go back to my character body, make sure you select it, and then do right click, add child node again. And this time I'm going to add a collision shape. And then going back to my character body, I'm going to add a node 2D. And I'm going to rename this guy gun points. There. All right. So this is just a little bit of setup, and I'll start going through each of these one by one. So we'll go back to our animated sprite 2D, and everyone else is caught up, right?
Yeah.
All right. So on the animated sprite, I'm going to go to the inspector on the right side, and I'm going to click on that empty, and that should give you the option to create a new sprite frames. So just click on that. And then once you have that in there, you'll just click on that sprite frames thing in there. And that opens up the sprite frames menu down here. This is where you're going to start setting up like where your sprites will be for your player. But before we do that, you got to go find that sprite sheet you got before. So I'm going to go load that up on my end. In my case, I also have it in downloads, I believe. Yep. So I'm just going to go copy that. Go to my documents where I have my project. You might have it somewhere else. And I just got to go find that folder. So you got to try to remember what you called it. There we go. And for now, I'm just going to copy and paste it directly in there. If you're making like a larger game, I would recommend organizing your folders. So like textures folder, for example, to put all your sprite sheets and the like. But I'm just putting it directly in there for now. And with that copy and pasted into there, I'm going to go back in the game engine. And it should tell you it was just like importing or re-importing the sprite sheet. And has anyone done that? You're good? All right. And are you good, Joseph?
Like, how's that? Like, what do I import? I'm a bit lost on the importing things.
It's all good. Let me double check where you are. Let's see.
Like,
So all we need to do is go to where do you have your downloads?
like on there.
Yeah. So like let's find that spreadsheet that you downloaded from before. It's a spreadsheet.
Sprite sheet.
Yeah. There you go. And hopefully it should show up. If not, you might just be able to check in your recents like without typing it in.
We got it from this one.
I don't think I downloaded it from there, so.
Oh, gotcha. All you need to do is just scroll up in here. Keep going a bit more. There you go. Click on that guy. And then go over here to download that icon. There you go.
Okay, for that.
Actually, hang on. Oh, let's actually put it directly where you need it. So instead of putting it there, let's go find where you saved this guy. It's probably going to be your. I'm trying to think of where you actually put it for this.
I just put it in there and just retrieve it, put onto the Godot.
Okay. Yeah, that also works too.
The PNG, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll just copy that and paste it into where you have your Godot project.
Yes, okay.
There it is.
Okay, so here.
Actually, yeah, just copy and paste it, like drag it right down there, and that also works too. And with that, you have your spreadsheet in there. In fact, he did what I forgot to mention you can also do here. Instead of doing what I did, the direct method with your file explorer, you can just drag and drop it into this little section over here, and it'll also put it directly there. Anyway, so we have that now. So to actually start using the frames from it, you're going to go down to like beneath animation frames, and you'll see this grid looking button there. Click on that guy, and you can like select any of the images you already have in here. Godot comes with like a pre-built like icon you can use for stuff like as for testing. But we're just going to go ahead and open up the spreadsheet. And it's going to look a little bit wonky where it puts these squares first. They're your frames. It's because it just automatically assumes like 80 by 80, but that's not what this is. This is a 32 by 32. So go over to size, change both of those to 32, and everything should line up correctly now. And for the time being, we're just going to take one of these guys. So you can just take the first spaceship, or you can really take any of the spaceships you want in there. And I'm going to do add frame 1. And that plops this guy down here. And if I zoom in, you should see the spaceship here. Do you guys have that? Anyone need time to catch up?
Let's do it. I've got a lot on that one again.
Mhm.
So I think I need to.
You're going to help them? All right. Because while we're doing that, I'm just going to...
Press that one, so.
Alright. And while he's doing that, I'll explain a quick thing that we're just going to do real quick. So if you go back over to your inspector, you might notice actually in your main frame that your spaceship image is a little bit blurry. So you go to inspector and go to texture. There, you see there's a filter option. That's what's used for determining like how your thing is imported. So it usually like turns as inherit for like linear. Oh, hello. Are you planning to follow along with the tutorial? Oh, yes. Are we? I guess we ran out of chairs actually. Yeah, because I'll just go show the texture like I'm changing it to nearest thing to get rid of the weird blurriness.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. But you plan to do you plan to follow along with this tutorial?
Yeah, I can. Well, I don't have to since I'm late.
I mean, it's all good. We haven't done too much. In fact, Damien, would you be up again to?
Yeah, I
Oh, we got someone
think
else.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I haven't
Oh.
totally been paying attention.
These are uploaded to the channel later. Anyway.
Oh, yep. They're done like automatically after this finishes. In fact, I already have a zip file of this one afterwards, so as soon as we get through all of it, I'll just upload that as well. And are you planning to follow along too, or are you just chilling?
I'm trying to follow along.
Gotcha, no problem. We have the time for you guys to catch up. It's not too much. So I guess Damien has a little bit of stuff on his hands. But yeah, I guess while he's doing that, I want to try and make sure like this texture thing is explained a bit then. So I think just if you didn't get to see this part, if like you see your spaceship there is a little bit blurry, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit blurry here, like this.
Mm-hmm. So the reason for that is if you go over to your inspector on the right and go down to texture, do you see that?
Texture canvas item.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you go in there, you see a thing called filter.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like what's used on all like those images, for example. So try like change it to nearest, for example, and you'll see now it's all like basic pixel art again, right?
Yeah, it looks cleaner.
Yeah. So that's what Godot uses for all that sort of stuff. Like you might use linear instead if you're doing like a bit more of complex art, because that way it helps blur stuff together instead of looking too much like pixel art in those cases. So sometimes you just have to decide when you want to use these different ones. I don't really mess with the other like bitmap or anisotropic ones, but at least knowing how to do the nearest one is always helpful.
You said you were looking to follow along. If you want, I can help catch you up over here just so I can help both of you at the same time.
I guess we really should have gone for the other room anyway, since it actually
Probably.
would have had no TV regardless.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Do you want the spreadsheet downloaded for you this week?
I don't even have Discord.
Alternatively, it is on the website as well. I just pulled it from there. Just search Clemson Game Dev Weebly and it'll show up. Though I will know if any of you guys ever go to the website, I have forgotten to like change the schedule on there, so it's still the same from last semester.
You can get a spreadsheet download the sheet and put it up. There's a way to set up.
Let me double check what else we're doing here. Alright. I'll do something else small, like while we're waiting on them. So our spaceship is currently like rotated off to the side, which based on how this game will be, that's going to look a little bit weird since we all want to be like facing up. But that's a simple fix. We'll just go over to our character body 2D, and like I was mentioning before, of how you have your transform stuff that'll like go down to the other nodes. We'll go down the transform here, go to our rotation, and we'll just type that in as I believe -90 should work. There we go. And that'll get our spaceship all set up for that. So that at least gets it looking all proper.
What have you done so far? Just like created a blank scene with the ship and then put in the image group?
Hang on. So I have the main game scene. That's where it's just like a single node 2D and a camera attached to it that's zoomed in by 2. And then you have the player, which is just all those nodes on there with the sprites set up.
Alright, so you can create a first scene and 2D scene. Let me know when you get to it.
So I guess also while we're waiting, we can like more discuss stuff rather than continuing on. So then you guys have anything you want me to like try and cover in the next meeting besides what I said? Like any like enemy designs, for example, or anything like UI wise or something?
To me, really just anything. I'm completely new to this like
You're
entire
gonna want to add
side of it.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Gotcha. Do you have any experience at all, or is this entirely new?
completely new. I mean, like I said, the only experience I would even have with computers is just intro level classes back in high school. So nothing really on the game development side, nothing really software engineering.
Mhm.
Is that the thing?
Gotcha. So how does the node stuff sound to you then? Does like it make sense? Or...
So to me, it makes sense. So, I mean, like I still play games. I kind of just know the common stuff.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a game with my brother and everything, but he chickened out of it. So yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. But
It's like I know terminology still,
Mhm.
but it's just how to actually like apply it, how to actually do everything and make it form.
yeah, I just want to make sure it's like still something you can take in even if you're not able to use like your laptop for example. Since I know Godot is a little bit unique when it comes to engines. Since most engines they don't do sort of node architecture. If they have nodes, it's more for like visual scripting. But that's entirely different from it here, where it's just used for I'm trying to remember like what's called like with the parents and children. So the parent node has all the stuff about it, and that gets put down into like the children nodes, for example, like propagation.
The first one's on Unity game objects. Animated sprite 2D.
Yeah, like it's a similar thing.
So are we only going to be using Godot?
It's what I use, but it's not a thing we're strictly using. Like if you want to use something else, you're completely free to. And Damien over there, he's experiencing Unity. Oh, sorry for calling you out.
Okay.
Is there any other game engine you'd be interested in trying to learn?
Right now, no. I only even have experience in Godot.
Mhm.
Well, not really experience, just like down there, like opened it up. I kind of just looked at every menu. So that's about it.
Gotcha.
So for go to
Because I'm just hoping with this, like you can just like learn to do something basic, and then you can use like what you learned from doing that other stuff.
Yeah, like once you get the fundamentals down, I'm sure the fundamentals are still the same between all the engines.
and then
Mhm.
I'm sure later down to like all the complex stuff, it's going to be a bit different between the engines, but
click the empty.
Yeah.
I'm sure like once you know the
One of the
fundamentals,
tops. Yep.
you can kind of like learn the complex stuff on your own. Because all your kind of branches off anyways.
Click on it again.
Yeah.
It should expand.
Like in ways like how web programming is, where it's more you just gotta learn the different like
Sprite sheet is-
fundamentals and like syntax of each language.
Yeah.
Like once you learn one, it's kind of you understand the basic logic of the others.
Yeah. It's like in high school, you know, I took every single programming class and computer class my school had to offer, even like, you know, the AP ones. I get here, I'm starting to take intro to Python, so okay. I mean, it kind of works out for me because Python's one of the few languages that I still know.
Mhm.
But I mean, like, we're going along it. I haven't learned anything new.
Mhm.
I just learned new syntax. Like, oh no, it's an if statement. How do I put that? It's the same thing. Just dang.
Actually, on that note, the language for Godot GD script, that's very similar to Python. So if you're used to that, it might be easier to learn.
Yeah.
But actually, out of curiosity, does anyone prefer something like C# or? Oh yeah, right. Gotcha.
I wanted to take out the C# class that they have here at the intro level.
Mhm.
But that's only fall semester. Same thing with Java.
Mhm.
Java was good about other things out of the other Java.
Mhm.
And so just be a free class. I just didn't want to take computer science again. So that's something Python.
At least if you want to learn through practice, Unity is all C# if I recall correctly, and then Godot, it has actually a mode for C# if you prefer to change over to that as well.
Yeah. Just everything that I've looked at has always been just use C#. That's why I wanted to take the class.
Mm-hmm.
Also because another one of my friends, they took the class, they said it was difficult. We're on the best terms right now, so it's kind of just not kind of spite. I just want to be better than them. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You can pick one of the 3 ships from the top left, whichever you want.
I have to learn it anyway, so let's get out of the way now.
It should be in there.
I think they're getting close to catch up. So, I don't know, while we're still waiting, does anyone also have any more ideas for the game jam you've thought of?
I'm still focusing on like Latin names.
Is there no way to put Bright in there, like on the spotlights or something?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Maybe there'd be something to even do some sort of theater based mode for it, for instance. I don't know, what if it's you had to do it in real time with each other for somehow? It'd be hard, but I don't know, maybe you can figure it out.
And that's what's.
Oh, actually, I have a question while I was still waiting.
Mhm.
So I actually didn't go to the introductory meeting or anything like that.
Mhm.
Can you just give a brief review of that?
Yeah, so that was
Thank you.
mostly to explain the overview of the club. So in that sense, we do our meetings every week, so we're like this, where they're from 7 to 8, usually in the library. We try in that initial meeting room, 416, because that one does actually have projectors and stuff. This one, of course, doesn't. But those are our usual meetings. They can be presentation time. So not like this, that's just a basic PowerPoint. We'll try and explain the game dev history to you. Or ones like this are more tutorial based. So those are our main meetings, but we also do our game jams every a month or so. And we just give a single theme. So the current one is with Bright. So if you can think of any sort of game that involves the word Bright, they can be in any way possible, mechanic, thematic, however you can think of it. And you're not forced to complete whatever you do. So even if it's just a game idea, if you want to showcase that at the end, that's perfectly fine.
Do you guys do group projects, semester length group projects? A small group on a competition for semester wide?
We've at least not tried semester long ones. I
I guess upkeeping members or members coming in later kind of makes it that difficult, but it's just a long-term game jam.
Oh yeah, no, I get what you mean. That was an idea. Was that under the table this whole time?
Yes. I have no idea what the hell it is. What? Not to derail the conversation.
But yeah. Okay. Where was I in all that? Right. So we've thought of doing semester long ones before. We just haven't tried it quite yet. But I mean, if need be, if you want to try doing that, you can just try and form a group as well within the club of people. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Because we also want to try and be a community where you can just meet up with people and form groups together as well. How's it going over there?
We're almost caught up. What was, you had 3 nodes?
Code.
Yes. What should be, and then you can just rename it to backup.
All Are they all set?
I need like one more minute. I just gotta get the spread back.
Gotcha.
Now, go back to
At least
the-
this time it's really not much code. Like, let me see, that's 30 lines. Then,
Click the button down here. It looks like a green.
let me see, 30 lines, 15 lines, and 21 lines. So it's not bad code wise. It'll not take us long.
Alright, now from the top left, there's three shapes. Choose those on the left. Yeah, just select one of them and you hit the. And then there's one. You can always change the size. If you want to click on the animated straight down. And then go down.
Is the street meant to just be your face at the moment?
And then click on the
No.
And then you want yes.
The stream is just your face at the moment.
Hang on, let me see what this thing is doing.
It wasn't a moment ago. I'm not sure.
I'll fix it. Let me see. Tiger screen. I think that's screen 1. There. Okay, is it fixed now?
They should be on there.
Is it not my face?
Reload.
You let
Yeah,
me-
you're good.
Okay, yeah, I see it on my phone too. I forgot that you can check on there. All right, so we're good. All right, I'll continue us along now. So the only other thing that we did aside for that little sprite bit is we went to our character body 2D, went to transform on the right under inspector, and you like open that up. You see rotation. You'll click in there where it says like 0 degrees. At least it should for you guys, and you'll just put in -90. You guys see that?
There's also the YouTube stream you guys can both pull up to actually see like what he's doing on his screen.
Yeah.
I don't know if we mentioned that to them.
Yeah, so in every other meeting except this one without a TV, it'll be on a projector to make it far easier. So are you guys good? All right. So we have all that stuff. These are actually the nodes we're going to be using and all that. And the animated sprite one is just simply for like, the visuals of our sprite. In fact, if you ever want to, you can even add in like more sprite frames for different spaceships to switch in between like by a code. But that'll be for a different meeting. So next we have our collision shape 2D. Just click on that guy and that'll change your stuff in inspector. So this will be the thing for actually colliders like your bullets and stuff. And right now it has a little caution warning on it. If you hover your mouse over it, it'll tell you it needs a shape in order to function. So you can either click on that guy to like put you over there, or you can just simply go to your shape on your right, click on that empty. It'll give you a few options. I would just say click circle shape 2D. And once you do that, you should see like a little circle that appears above your sprite that shows you like the extent of that circle. And if you want to change that around, you can either like drag that orange guy on there, however you want it, or you can go back to your circle shape over there on your right. If you click on that, it'll give you your option to change your radius more directly. And you guys got all that? All right. So if we're all good with that guy, we're going to go down to our gun points. So this is what we're going to use to actually like set our positions from starting for bullets instead of trying to do it like manually via code. So I'm going to add another child node to this guy. You can really call it whatever. The point is that it just has to be a node 2D. And so far, I've just had my select mode like done. If you go up to your like right beneath like main game, you should see like a little cursor icon. If you hover over that, it tells like what mode you're in. So I'm currently in select mode, but I'm going to switch on over to like the thing to the right, move mode. So that way, wherever I drag this guy that I have selected, it'll just go along with it. And I want to put that where the guns are on my spaceship. So it's like roughly over here. If I want to fine tune it, I'll just go back to transform over here. Instead of -9.0, I'm going to change it to I think -8.5. If you're wondering why the Y is being used in the X-axis, that's all because we rotated it. So you just got to think of it the opposite way around. And we're just going to do that same thing again for the other point. And this is all just so we don't need to hard code these values in, so we can just reference these nodes themselves. So one of these is at, I believe, let me double check, at 3 in X and -8.5 in Y. The other one is at 3 in X and 8.5 in Y. And those both need to be underneath your gun points. It should be like you see like a little line connecting them like to your gun points instead of to your character body directly. So that way they're children of your gun points. But with all that done, you can actually go ahead and rename this guy player. And we're going to start doing our first bit of scripting. Are you guys all caught up? All right, I'll give you just a second. All right, all set?
You can keep going.
All right. So in order to attach a script, there's a few different ways you can do it. You can always just click when you have your player selected, just go to attach a new script up here, or you can right click on them and do attach script that way, just whatever way you prefer doing. And that gives you the option here to like make your script. So it'll first put you in path. That's where like you can like name your script and also put where you want it. So if you have like a separated out folder for all your scripts, that's where you can do that. And if you prefer to do a different language on GD script, you can go up here and you can select that if you had like C, like the stuff for C# installed and all that. And you can even change like what type of stuff it inherits from. So in this case, we're doing character body 2D because that's what that node is. But you might have something else different in the future. But with all that said, if you guys have that already, we're just going to do create. And now we're going to start working on this first script. I'll just get rid of this guy. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is like set up a few variables. So first we're going to do mouse position. Yeah, I'm just going to first set this as a vector 2, which is some zeros in there. Then I'm going to do, actually, no, I'm not going to do that guy just yet. I'll do this guy. Can shoot equal true. So we'll have another variable declared up here in the future, but these are the two you need to like globals inside your script. Your mouse position, that you'll be like updating constantly so you know where your mouse is. And then you have can shoot. That is like just so you know like if you're able to shoot or not. That's like when you're holding your mouse to shoot, you're not doing it like every millisecond or something that's detected, so you can actually have a delay in it. So first thing we're going to do is now we're going to make a function for that's always going to keep running. So I believe we're going to do just process. So if you start typing in like from the underscore process, it's going to give you the option just to press tab for that whole function. And this is an inbuilt function that is like called every every a set intervals like repeatedly, so you can use it for all like your movement stuff, so you can keep updating it. And are you guys all caught up? All right. So the first thing we're going to do in this function is we're going to update our mouse position because we always want to know what that is. So we're going to do get global mouse position. And that's just a function that's called to get whatever your global mouse position is on the screen. And next, we're going to try and figure out like what our difference is like in position. So if you remember like all your I think it's like geometry and stuff, this might be familiar. Let's see how. And then I believe it's mouse.x minus position.x. And I'm just going to take this guy. Let me make sure I got that right. Yep. Okay. So you guys might remember the sort of formula to gain like a distance like between 2 points. So it's like the square root of like the x positions like minus each other squared, and then plus the y positions minus each other squared. So think of that for like your triangles, for example, like with getting the hypotenuse as an example. That's basically what you're doing there. And you want to know that like distance between your mouse and your like position of this like little spaceship guy already, because instead of like directly like I'm putting it on that position, we want to interpolate it a little so it's a little like smooth. So in that case, we're going to double check if that position is, we're going to say like less than 50. Whoops. There we go. And if it is, we're just going to ignore interpolating, and we're just going to say, okay, that position is going to just be the mouse position. But if it is not, then that position is going to be, and this is going to be a little bit longer of a thing, but it's mostly just you copy and pasting something twice. Or lerp between position.x, then mouse.x, and then 50, oh, whoops, 50 divided by this difference, So we're just going to copy and paste this guy that you have here into like after this comma. Oh wait, hang on. Mouse pause. Sorry, that's supposed to be. There we go. All right, and I'll try and move my camera thing over here so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so it's a little bit long of a line, but what this does, it takes your position. It's going to set to like a vector 2, since your position always has to be a vector 2 for like the x and y. And your x component, you're going to lerp, which is for like interpolating, and you're going to interpolate between what your position of your spaceship already is and that mouse position you want to be at. And you're going to do it by like take your 50, that's like your cutoff, divide by your mouse position. So that's always going to be like greater than 1, I think. Wait, no, it's always going to be less than 1, yeah. Because you never want to like directly go there. You always want to be like edging there a little bit. And you're just going to do that for both your x position and your y position. And that should make it so your spaceship will just like gradually go towards your mouse if it's greater than 50 away. All right. And to test that guy out, I'm going to go ahead and save this. So if I right click on that scene, save scene as, I'm just going to call it player. Save that. I'm going to go back to main game. I'm going to switch to 2D so I can see a little bit better. Select main game. And I'm going to drag that player scene from down here up into there. And with that, actually, are you guys all caught up to that? Do you need a second? You all good? Which thing?
Alert.
Oh, yeah. Here. In fact, also hover over this so you can see like how it works and all that. Huh?
Yeah, no?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for coming.
Mm-hmm. And we'll upload the finished version on Discord if you want to try and catch up. Mm-hmm. All right, and are you guys all good? Or do you, I see you're trying to read, do you need that last little bit of script there still?
Yeah, mine.
Hang on, I can just walk over there and I'll double check.
Hello. If you want to try and follow along, you can try and catch up, but I guess with 40 minutes, it might be a little bit difficult, I will warn.
Ham Club meets before this, and it's a
Um,
long walk to get here.
well, it is live stream, so you can always watch it after this. So let's take a look at this guy. Oh, it's a simple thing. Vector 2 is capital sensitive, so change that to a capital V. And let's see. So it's about so it says down here expected a parentheses somewhere. So let's see. You need a parentheses like a closing one after that positive. Yep. So put a, there you go. That fixed. And you just gotta change the same vectors in here, and you should be good there. So all you gotta do is save your two scenes. So like, if you right click on each of them like one at a time, you should be able to go like the save scene as, and you can name it whatever you want. Same script over here. You just call that down whatever you want to do. That guy will seem to be safe. Save scene also do the same thing when it's first starting out. So that would work. You can call it main game, for instance. That's what I'm considering it. Yeah. And all you need to do is go to 2D so you can see what you're doing. And can we move your phone real quick? I'm sorry, it'll be a little bit harder. Let's click on main game. So drag this player scene here. Like click and drag and bring it up here until like it has like a line. Until like you see like there you go, that line. And let's just put it underneath node 2 before. There. Yep. There you go. And I'll show you guys why. What's that about?
The front desk is when I close.
Oh, okay. All right. So if you go to your top right, you'll see this little like film looking button. Like it'll say like if you hover over it, it should say like run current scene. If you click on that guy, as long as you have your main game open, it should open up this. And now you see a little spaceship follows your mouse. Do you guys all see that? Works for you. And works for you. Oh, yes. And all you have to do is like rotate that spaceship if you want. But otherwise you're good. So we have that set up. But of course, that's a little bit boring. We don't really have anything going on for a player just yet. So we want a little bit of a background. In that case, I'm going to first go ahead and change the background to be black. So if you want to do like your background color as like a complete thing instead of just changing it like individually. If you go up to your top left, you'll see project. We're going to go to project settings. And then I believe it's, let me double check which guy this is. I believe it's window right now. Sorry, I'm trying to recall which menu this is. 2D. It's one of these guys. This is the one thing I forgot to do. Okay, I think, let me double check this to make sure I'm doing it right. I believe I just changed this guy. Yeah, okay. So in your project settings, like I showed before, you'll scroll all the way down until you see environment. So that'll be under rendering. If you click on environment, you'll scroll all the way down. You'll see default clear color, and you'll change it to whatever you want your background to be. I changed it to be black to be like space, but I don't know, maybe like a purple space, or you want to even treat it like a sky, whichever you prefer. So are you guys able to find that? All right. So now we're going to start adding in some background objects. To do that, we're going to first add another node to our main game. I'm just going to call it background objects. Oh, wait, whoops. I forgot that's mine. I'm putting the node here first, then I'm doing it. So node 2D, and then I'm going to rename that guy background objects. Whatever you name it doesn't really matter for him since he won't be referencing the code by that. And we're going to go ahead and make another scene real quick. We're going to go to other node, animated sprite 2D. Going to do the same thing as before. We make a new sprite frame. So click on the empty, click sprite frames, then click sprite frames again, and that lets you open up that stuff down there. Same thing as before. We're going to go to that grid option, go to our sprite sheet, and now you can open up whatever stuff you want in your background. So I'm, for instance, just going to do all the stars. Whoop, okay, hang on, my mouse is acting up. Hang on. All right. So let me select all those again. So I'm going to select all the stars in there. If you want to add in the planets, you could do that as well, but you'd have to change your size to be 64 by 64. So you just got to choose how you want it. So I have all my stars down here in my little sprite sheet. And that should be all I need in this guy pretty much. Because all the magic for the background stuff is going to be handled by a code. I'm just going to simply label this guy real quick. Background object. There we go. And you're going to also want to save him. So save scene as background object. There we go. And next we're going to go back to our main game. So we have that all so that we're going to reference. So now, like before, you click on your background objects, either do attach scene with that button up, attach script up there with that button, or you just right click on it and do attach script. And I'm just going to call it background objects script, or you can call it whatever you want. All right. So this is going to be something a little bit more unique. This variable is going to be different, where instead of just being like an ordinary variable, we're going to load up that object that we just made. So do load, and they'll give you a few options what stuff you have in here. So in this case, we just made background object as a scene. So if you want to make sure it's a scene and not the script or something, you just see like on that TSCN, that tells you it's a scene. So that's going to be one of our variables. Next, we're going to also call one BG objects. That's going to be an array that we're going to use to keep track of all our background objects. Next, we're going to make a function. This is going to be for ready. For I in range 0 to, let's say, 35. You can change that number if you want more on background objects, for like your stars and all that. Then we're going to create var new object equal that object that we just made as a variable, instantiate. It's not going to autocomplete for you. Then we're going to reference that same variable. We're going to add some new attributes to it. So I'm going to do position equals vector2 rand f range. And all right, so before I'm going to continue off of this guy, we're going to need to know our window size, because what we're going to be doing here is setting our initial positions for all these objects in our background. And we want them to be based on our window size, so it's always going to be like scaled correctly. Like they're not going to be outside of our window when they don't need to be, and we're always going to have enough in there. But to get all that, we want to be making sure we can access this anywhere in our code. So not just like in the same script files, but in all the script files. And the way to do that is we're going to go to our project settings, and you'll see a thing called globals. We're going to go there. And are you guys all caught up? Do you need a second? Hang on. I'm going to, on the live stream, I'll make sure this guy's down here so you can still see that script if you're doing it. So on that globals menu, we don't have any global variable scripts set up yet. So we're going to go over to like that thing that says node name with add next to it. I'm just going to put in globals just so it's easier to reference, then do add. That's going to create a new script just to keep track of all your global variables. And after you do create there, you'll have that script. It won't be open automatically, but all you need to do is click that little folder icon next to enable. Click that, and now you have that little script. And all we got to do is we're going to set up, let me see what I call it again. Screen size. Vector2, 0. So we're just initializing that guy. And then, similar to before, we're going to make a process where every time it's going to get that screen size equals vector2 display server dot get Windows. Should be a thing for game. I'm trying to recall. Okay, window get size. There we go. And that's going to get your size of it. Actually, oh, sorry, I forgot. We don't need to make that a vector2 because it's already going to be a vector2. There. So every time in that process thing runs, it's going to take our screen size and it's going to get that size of the window instead of equal to that. And the reason we're doing that repeatedly, at least for now, is because you can maximize and like not minimize, but like make the window smaller right now. You can change on settings to make it so it's always maximized, but for now we want it to be all the time just in case the user changes it. But in the future, we'll change this just to be like done once. Anyway, that's going to be our globals. And with that, we can now go ahead and finish this thing real quick. Hopefully we have enough time.
6 minutes.
I'll try and do what we can. So we got our screen size, .x, divide that by 2. And we're dividing that by 2 because we want to make sure like where we put this guy is going to be between like the negative side of our player and the positive side, like with respect to the screen size. And we're going to make it so that goes from global screen size .x divided by 2. And then all you got to do is take that same thing you just did here. Oops, actually include the rand f range, Control C, Control V, and on the other side, just change out those x's to y's. So hang on, I'm going to make my screen a little bit smaller so at least you can see all the line. It might be a bit hard to see, but it's basically just you take that randif range, put in there your negative global screen size .x, divide that by 2 to your global screen size of x and divide that by 2, and just copy and paste that in terms of y. So that'll just randomize all those all across your screen. Actually, I think you can do a divide by 2. We'll see what happens. Frame, and basically now we're just going to add like a small little settings to our guys. So let's make it so that it randomizes between all of our frames. And I'm gonna do add child new object. Okay, so this full thing here is gonna loop through that 35 times. They create that new object each of those times and add as a child to this background objects node. And we just have to make sure our BG objects variable here will append that every time just for easy accessing. You can always like access it based on it being a child of it, but sometimes it's just easier to have a ready-made list for it. And hopefully we have that time just to do this guy real quick. For I in range 0 BG objects or current object equal BG objects iterated there, and current object dot position dot y plus equal, and we're just going to do that like I think 100 actually works. We're going to change this out for a global variable next time, but we don't have time here. Then if current object dot position dot y is greater than globals dot screen size dot y divided by 2, then current object dot position dot y equal negative globals dot screen size dot y divided by 2. Okay. And what this function does here is basically for your whole scrolling effect. Oops, hang on, I don't want that mouse to be over it. Where it's going to loop through all of those objects that you made in your ready function. Oh, I don't know if I've mentioned before. Your ready function is what's called like once your node first loads into the scene, so it only gets called once unless you call it multiple times yourself. And so that makes all your initial like objects, like your stars and all that. And then your process function here is like what makes them scroll all the way across your screen. And then whenever like they get like to the bottom of your screen, they're going to loop all the way back to the top. Does that make sense to everyone? All right. And to make sure that works, we can just go ahead and run the scene again. And, oh, hang on. I think their positions are a little bit weird. Let me double check why they're being a little bit weird like that. I think it's just because I did this guy. I thought that would be fine. That was not fine. All right. Let me see if that fixed the problem. No, okay, why they're still all in the same position? They do loop, they're just all in the same position, which is not quite right. I'm trying to see why they're doing that. Somebody messed up the code somewhere from how I had it before. Let me.
You have to add the child before you set the new position.
Usually you don't, like you can, but it doesn't necessarily cause a difference. Like, hang on, let me try and do something weird. I'm just gonna add like I plus whatever, just so at least they're spread out. Hang on. Okay, so they do spread out. They're just always in the same position. I'll make sure I get that fixed. I'm trying to see why, because that worked fine in my code before all this. So it should be taking a random value between all that stuff. Maybe I put that in there wrong. Hey, Damien, can you help me real quick?
I'm looking at it. It looks right.
I'm wondering
That's why
why.
I'm confused.
Like, worst comes to worst, I'll change this up next time to see why in the world it's doing that. Because they're supposed to be spread out. Like, at least they do loop. I just don't. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong scene. All right.
On the live stream, it looks like it's the same as the template got it.
Yeah. That's why I'm wondering what it's doing. But they do loop at least. It's just gonna spread out thing to work. So
Is it
get.
possible that the ready function occurs before the global screen size value was assigned?
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. You're right. I forgot. You know what? I'll just fix that real quick because I did have a different. I just did not have my globals on hand. So if you go back to your global script, when you set that screen size to var screen size, take your display server thing and put that in there when you first define it, and that should work. Yep. Okay. So yeah, you were right. Thank you. And now they should be all randomized. Yeah. Here's a run though. They're not scrolling, which is weird.
Well, that's because I haven't implemented that yet.
Oh, okay.
I
Sorry.
just
I was
found
just-
spawning them.
Sorry. I was worried there was a bug still somehow.
No, that was just because I'm slow.
Well, let me double check all you guys. Let's see, are your stars? Dang. Let's see if that one has, it's a little bit buggy, but that one does have stars.
That's short stuff.
Oh,
live
dang.
stream.
That's true.
Man. Alright, so can I see your script real quick? Also, I guess it is 8, so if you guys need to go, you can go ahead and do so. I think we're the last ones in the room today, so if need be, you can try and finish up real quick. But otherwise, thank you all for coming. We'll do a little bit more next time, at least with the bullets and stuff. That's really the last thing I have to do this meeting, and then we'll actually get into some implemented.
Oh,
It looks like
there
it
were
might be
people waiting on
this.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, then we need to get going. Dang. All right.
Thank you.
I was just gonna observe them.